NDA Photography. This is my first talking tutorial that I'm doing, so don't laugh at me if I mess up stuff and all of that good stuff. But today I want to show you guys how I did the glass skin effect. And basically the glass skin effect look like this, where you got highlights on her skin right here, and then you got reflections all around. Here's another example right here where you got reflections all over her face, going everywhere. What I'm going to be doing today is not actually building one from scratch. I'm just going to break this picture down right here, show you how I get to this outcome right here. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you need to do, you need to have your picture. So this is like my picture straight out of the camera. And then C4D, that's the program that I use with Photoshop to get that effect. We will be building an image like this. That is actually the skin of our glass effect right there. And let's get to C4D. Now when you open up C4D, you're going to come to this screen right here. The first thing you want to do is let's go to Windows, Content Browser. Your content browser window might be a little bit different, but since I go here all the time, it's kind of set. So what you want to look for, look like you got to go to presets, go to prime, then go to humans. Double click on Lisa, and then close it out. There she go right there. Now once you got Lisa, what you want to do is you got all of these things that you can control, but we don't need to control everything. So let's get rid of the upper teeth, the lower teeth, the left eye, and the right eye. Let's get rid of all of that. I just highlighted them and then just hit delete. Now we just left with our body. Now since we got our body and everything, let's build our background. So let's go to new material, and under color, let's go to this last box over here by texture. Let's load up that picture that was straight from the camera. Let's load that up. Click yes when you get this box, if you get that box. And now since we got this picture in the right here, let's go right here. Mine's set under floor, so I'm gonna push on floor just to get that and to get background. So now since we got the background, let's bring this new material to the background. Make sure you get the arrow pointing down with the plus in the box. Drop it right there. And now you got that. Now the next step, what you want to do is, let's go to Photoshop, and let's see how big this picture actually is. Let's go to image size. I'm going to Command C to copy the width. And then I'm just going to remember 3456. Hit OK. Let's go to Edit Render Settings. And let's just type in 3456 for the height. And then for the width, what we're going to do is, you can even see the change that I made where it just squished it and everything, because what we're doing is building the actual picture right here. So when we go to Command V to paste, now our viewing area is the same size as the picture in Photoshop now. What you want to do, make the resolution from 72, make that to 300. And that's it. Let's go under Save, under File. Let's just, you know what I'm saying, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it one test. And hit save. I'll put it on the desktop, but you can, whatever you put it, you just got to know where you got it from. So I did a desktop. And format, instead of the TIFF file, let's go under PNG. That way, when we build our model and when we have a background, the background, when it's rendered, there will be no pixels in the background. Only our model will show up. So that's what we're going for. Let's go to anti-alias. From geometry, let's go to best. I always go to 2x2. You can stick with 1x1 if you like. Let's go to options. Now ray depth and shadow depth, you want to drop that to 8, because you don't want to be rendering all day. Reflection depth, just drop that down to 1. Like, the difference between the two is so little, you won't even mind the difference. You won't mind it. You'll see it, but you wouldn't mind it. So the difference could be like anywhere depending on how fast your computer is or how slow it is. It could be like, I don't know, like 10 minutes versus like 2 minutes to render out. Once we got that, we can exit out. Now this next step we want to do is, we got these controls over here where you can move from side to side. Move Lisa from side to side, because that's her name, the model. The next one over is zoom, so we definitely want to do that. And then this right here is actually like just move around, like move around her. So you got to use all these to line up with your background. what you want to do, you want to try to be as perfect as possible, but you know everybody is different. So Lisa is actually, like, I would say she Caucasian, and I'm lining her up with a African American or like that. So it ain't gonna be spot on. That's why we gotta warp and liquefy as soon as we get in over there in Photoshop. But what we trying to do is just make sure we do that as little as possible. So the better you can line your model up with your Cinema 4D model, the better. Now, I'm just gonna call it quits right there. Let's get rid of Lisa's skin. And let's get rid of the background since we no longer need it. So if we render it out, this is what we get. Okay, but we got to get the black skin on Lisa. So let's create. We could also go to load material presets, go to light materials, and let's go to glossy. And then you could use either of these, like glossy, black, but I'd rather build my own because those are like kind of funky for me. So I'd rather just build my own. So I just got a new material, and under color, let's change it from white to black. Specular, this box right here, got to make sure yours is on plastic. Don't be under metal. Make sure you got plastic. What we trying to do is make a spike that's like a heel. Let's make a needle type spike in the middle of the box. So I'm finna drop this all the way down to like 18. Bring this back all the way up to like 52. Let's bring this in -8, and that'll be great. So let's go back to basic. Let's click under reflection, and now let's go to reflection here. Let's bring the brightness down. Let's bring that down to 35. You could use whatever settings you like. It doesn't matter. This is just what I do. Texture. Let's go to Fresnel. I believe that's how you say it. Maximum strength. Let's drop that down to let's go to 52 on that one too. And now that's our glossy black skin. All we got to do now is just grab the material from here and drop it onto the skin. You can also drop it all the way over here too if you like, but let's render this out. Let's see what that look like. Alright, now it looks like this because we have nothing in the background, or we don't have any types of light. So you could you could just add a light. Yeah, you can move the light like this. So you could add a light like that, so when you build it, let me see. Come on, light. It's messing with me now. Do area light. starting to get somewhere. And what you got to do for that, you got to bring the intensity up too. Like, go 300. Now you could use those type of lights and get creative, or cause I don't do that. This is what I usually do. Let's go under floor, let's go under sky. Now once we get the sky, let's build a new material. And under texture again, let's, on our desktop, let's have a picture where you could use any picture you like. But I tend to use like a picture I found on the internet of a background. And I'm going to open that up. I'm going to click yes. So now we got that. So we could bring that to the background, to the sky actually. And this is what I'd rather go with. Something like this. And you can even add some lights to that sky. Place them anywhere you want. That's the lights right here. And down there. And then what you want to do, once you get it to this point right here, what you want to do, since you already did all your render settings, you want to start rendering it. Now, depending on how good of a quality you use, that's how fast it's going to render. So if you use like a high quality, you might be here for a while. If you use low, it's going to do it really quick. So I ain't gonna sit here and let it build. Just show you. Let me go here. Let's just quit it altogether. Okay. Cause what you gonna end up with is that even when you was actually rendering it and it looks like it was building the background too, when it like gets on your desktop or wherever you placed it, it's gonna look like this because you did it as a PNG file and you did the alpha channel and all of that. It's gonna look like this, even though in the little window box it's building the background too. So don't worry about that. Just as long as you got it a PNG file and it's alpha channel. So basically you got something like that. And here's another quick tip. Like try to get like mostly black. Like 75% black. That'll help you out too. Get you a better result too. Once we go to Photoshop. So let's go to Photoshop. Now in Photoshop, only thing I did with this layer is I just cropped it. bring this out a little bit more, and then that was it. So on our next layer, I just I filled it with content aware fill. That's what I did. I used content aware fill to fill in those empty pixels right there. And then, as you can see, she got pimples. Everybody do. Everybody gonna have pimples. Everybody gonna have dark spots. And got rid of the hole in her ear and all of that good stuff. Got the lines in the map. Ain't nobody perfect, so, but we try to make them perfect. So that's what I did right here. The best I know how. So you go. Don't laugh at my eyebrows. I gotta learn how to do that. Get better eyebrows. So next step I did was I didn't like that the light spot right here when I try to clear that up. So I fixed it a little bit better right there. Got rid of the line over here under their eyes and stuff like that. Now on this layer right here, I got rid of the other eyelash and the eyebrow that was poking out. And now it look like she's more of a side view. Here, let me zoom in. I just did a little bit of skin smoothing by using portraiture. Thick is portraiture 2. So just a little skin smoothing right there. If you can see the difference, I don't know. Let me zoom in more. Can you see it on the nose? Try not to get rid of the actual texture, cause I like texture on my skin, but I just trying to smooth it so it don't be so much of it. I just added some more pinkness to the lips right there. So now all my edit is done as far as my model go. Now it's time for us to add the glass effect. Now, in doing so, to get this off the desktop, I just went under File, Place, look for it on my desktop, and brought it in. And since I already lined it up in Cinema 4D, it placed it like super close. So that's what that's about. Now, let's see. I had to do this because usually what you want to do is Control T for transform, and then you want to control to choose. Let's do it. Control T, control, and you want to go to warp. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to warp so you could like warp the actual shape of this to your model as best you can. You got to look at the transform warp as like your hammer and your chisel, and you got to look at liquefy as if this was your sandpaper. So, but since I did a horrible job at this, I also had to add in another step where I had to like cut pieces of the face out, move it, transform that to better fit the model. So that's what all of this stuff is right here. And then once it come in all black like this, what you want to do is I use screen and soft light. That's what I mostly like. Cause screen gonna give me that type of effect. And then soft light will give me that. So I use the combination of the two. Cause I like, once I finish with the screen, I duplicated everything, and then I do it in soft light, and then I like use my opacity to dial it in. So it's gotta play with it a little bit. So that's what all of this is. So like this right here. What is this? Let me get that off of transform. Don't apply. Yeah, so that's when I had to like cut the ear off and then move it to that spot. So that's what this is. This layer is. That's my ear. And sometimes you're gonna have to do that regardless, because like I said before, it's like your model, your Cinema 4D model is white. My model, my real life model is black. Her feature is like drastically changed. And even if they was both white, they not related or nothing like that. So it's like you're gonna have to do. Sometimes you can get away with it, or just warping it and liquefying it. Sometimes you gotta copy and paste it, then do that. Now let's go to liquefy right here, so I can show you how I liquefy. I liquefy like this. I messed around. You gotta make sure you use this mask right here, cause once you and just pick out places where you want to work on. Like if you want to work on the front of the face, the back of the head, you don't want to mess with. So that way, when you use this forward warp, you can move this as much as you want. But those pixels right here, that's in those boxes, that's in that circle, won't be affected because it's under the red. And if I mess around and erase the red mask and use the forward warp again, just to mess with the front of the face, soon you can see I'm just moving everything too. So that's why you got to make sure you use the red. And just move it to get as close as possible. Like I said, you want to use this as like your sandpaper. And then once you got it where you like it, you just hit OK, but I'm going to hit cancel. That's how I use the liquefy tool. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now to help sell this, the glass effect, I use a light flare. And you could use a light flare to use as far as getting rid of like areas, get rid of attention from areas that you done messed up on, like the lip right here. Like there's not a lot of shine to the lip right here when I did the mask. So to avoid you looking right at the lip, like, wait a minute, just stop right there. Throw that light flare right there, so you can you just notice the light flare right there, and then you just move on about your business. And then this is another tip with liquefy too. I forgot to mention too. Is like you really don't have to be so close to the actual outline. Because if I take this off right here, this mask off right here, you can see that when I liquefy, I went over like a little bleed. I did that on purpose so I can make sure I get a nice, fit her close. Because what I did is I made a mask because I had a clean background. I used the color range for my mask so that I get a clean mask around her to cut that bleed off. So that's another tip when you're using the liquefier. Just get as close as possible. But if you got bleed, you're just going to have to make a mask. I just squash everything to one layer by Shift Alt Command E. I did that so I could start using plugins. And this is Color Effects Pro 4. Contrast only. I just tweaked it a little bit just so I could get this effect right here. And then I used another Nick software. Let me see. It's Analyze Pro 2. No, Analyze Effect Pro 2 that I use. Because the first one, I don't think it had, I'm not sure. And I got it. That's crazy. But since the Pro 2 came out, I really started liking the multi-camera feature, or the double exposure. And I used that preset to get this. And then even with that preset, I just kept the double exposure part, the multi-camera part, and got rid of all the other effects that came with this preset. So that's basically it. That's the glass skin effect.